Good morning. Breaking news reports this morning the man in white seen at the Brussels airport with those two suicide bombers has just been arrested. He's believed to be a bomb maker with ties to the Paris massacre. His capture coming after a massive manhunt, including raids throughout the city. Today, Wednesday, March 23rd, 2016.
From NBC News, this is a special edition of Today, Terror in Brussels, with Matt Lauer in Brussels, Belgium, and Savannah Guthrie, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And good morning, everyone. Welcome to Today on this Wednesday morning, although it's a little bit noisy where I am standing. What you're looking at right now is a moment of silence being observed by the people here in Brussels, Belgium. That is a place called the Place de la Bourse. It is about a mile and a half from where I'm standing. And again, moment of silence, part of the kind of trying to come to terms with what has gone on here in the last 24 hours. As I mentioned, I'm here in Brussels. Savannah is back in New York City. And Savannah, we've got an awful lot going on right now. Breaking news on the investigation into these attacks. We know the names of the suspects in the airport bombings. Two brothers, Khalid and Ibrahim El-Bakraoui, identified as the suicide bombers. The third man, that man in white with the black hat, he's been identified as Najim Lashrawi, who's already wanted in connection with the Paris attacks. This morning, there are some reports that he has been arrested. I want to say that NBC News has not been able to independently confirm those reports. Now, raids are being carried out all across Brussels. One of them led to the discovery of what investigators are calling a bomb-making factory. And the attacks are inspiring a show of solidarity around the world. Iconic landmarks across Europe and the U.S. have been lit in Belgium's national colors, of course, black, yellow, and red. There is a lot to get to this morning. We want to start with NBC's Keir Simmons, who's joining me right now here in Brussels. Keir, what can you tell us?
Matt, these conflicting reports over whether a key suspect has been arrested is just not going to help the sense of tension here. There has been fear here in this city and across Europe ever since the Paris attacks. But what yesterday did was shatter people's confidence, a sense that Europe is under attack. In Europe's rain-soaked capital this morning, soldiers questioning commuters, searching bags outside the subway. Today, just going to work is an act of defiance.
Frightening.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
But you're still determined to get to work?
Yes, I have to.
We cannot give in into fear. It's pointless. We have to show that we can go on.
On the same streets, an urgent manhunt to find killers who struck in the name of ISIS. The two suspected suicide bombers at the airport, seen in security video, identified overnight as brothers Khalid and Ibrahim El-Bakraoui, each man wearing a glove on only one hand. Investigators working to establish exactly why. Transporting their suitcase bombs to the airport in a taxi. A man with them, this morning identified as 25-year-old Najim Lashrawi, now wanted by police. There are many questions this morning. How the killers so easily entered the airport, smoke filling the check-in area, a mother cowering in fear. Who placed the third bomb on the metro at Malbec, central Brussels, an hour later? The subway car's doors blown out, passengers escaping along the tracks and echoing along the tunnels, screams. There are some answers. In Schaerbeek, just outside Brussels, a raid found a makeshift bomb, according to the federal prosecutor, ingredients for explosives, and an ISIS flag. NBC News learning authorities have found additional suitcase bombs. But there is mounting criticism of Europe's intelligence agencies for failing to prevent this attack 4 months after the Paris massacre. Overnight, we crossed European borders with ease.
We've just crossed the border into Belgium. There were no checks, no sign of police. If the suspects wanted to escape to another part of Europe, they might just get into a car and drive.
Among the injured, 3 American missionaries from Utah, while this Kentucky couple, Justin and Stephanie Schultz, are missing, their family says. Their names not on any list. Jeff Slaughter from Louisiana was at the airport, just dropped off by a friend, when the bombs went off.
I saw this big bright yellow light followed by a huge explosion.
And I was just stunned.
This morning, he is wearing the same clothes he left his bags behind when he fled in terror.
And the French Prime Minister this morning saying that Europe has closed its eyes to the rise of extremist ideas. They want to destroy our way of life. He said, Matt, this has the potential to have a profound effect on the way folks back in the US view Europe and on politics on this continent.